Alright, this is the video for the third homework assignment in section 4.1. This is 4.1c. So the first problem, they want you to graph this parabola. Again, the vertex is going to help us. This is a vertex of 0, 0. So we're going to make that point right over here. We want to find out a few points to the right of it, so then we can get the symmetry on the left. So we'll do 1 and 2 just to see, because it's supposed to go up pretty fast since this value a is larger than 1, so it's going to be narrower, which means that it increases faster. So 1 squared is 1. 1 times 9/4 is 2 1/4, so 2 1/4. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 9/4 is 9. So 1 comma 2 1/4 is right around there, the symmetric point. 2 comma 9 is here, and the symmetric point. And then we want to connect these to get our graph. Remember, these graphs are going to be smooth curves. You do not want to draw them as V's because that's an absolute value graph. You don't want to do that. Alright, number 2. This vertex is at 0, -4. So we're going to plot a point there. And the reason why we know this is because if we put it in vertex form, it's the same as y equals x minus 0 squared minus 4. So the vertex is at 0, -4. So we'll do a few points to the right of it. We'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 squared is 1. 1 minus 4 is -3. 2 squared is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 4 is 5. 4 squared is 16. 16 minus 4 is 12. So let's plot those points. 1, -3, -1, -3. 2, 0, -2, 0. 3, 5, -3, 5. 4, 12, -4, 12. And let's connect these. And there's our graph. The third one has a vertex of 3, 1. So we can plot that first. We'll do a few points to the right of it. We'll do, let's say 4. We'll do 5, and we'll do 6. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Times a negative, that would be -1. -1 plus 1 is 0. So we have 4, 0. That would mean the symmetric point would be at 2, 0. 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 squared is 4. Times a negative is -4. -4 plus 1 is -3. So 5, -3. And the symmetric point is 1, -3. 6 minus 3 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 times a negative is -9. -9 plus 1 is -8. So we're going to have 6, -8. And 0, -8 as the point of symmetry. So we'll connect these. And there's our parabola. Alright, number 4. Identify the vertex first. So we have the opposite here and what you see here. So 2, 6. The axis of symmetry is always x equals h, which is 2 in this case. The max or min value, when we look at A is positive. That means it opens up. That means it has a min value since it bottoms out. And the min value is always equal to the y coordinate of the vertex, which would be 6 in this case. The domain and range. Domain, always all reals. The range for this one, it opens up. That means it's going to be the set of y's such that y is greater than or equal to, because it opens up, the very minimum value, which is 6. Equation in vertex form. So let's write the vertex form. Y minus k equals a times x minus h squared. Let's plug in the vertex. So y minus 7 equals a times x minus 1 squared. Now let's plug in our values for x and y. So we'll have negative 1 minus 7 equals a times 5 minus 1 squared. So let's simplify this. We have negative 8 equals 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 squared is 16. So times a is going to be 16a. If I divide both sides by 16, a is going to be negative 8/16, which is negative 1/2. So let's just put everything together. I'm going to have y minus 7 equals a, which is negative 1/2, x minus 1 squared. And there's your answer. Number 6. So we're going to have our two equations. This one will give us 2 equals a times negative 3 plus 2 squared plus k. All we're doing again is we're substituting x and y into these over here. So I plug in 11 for y equals a times 0 plus 2 squared plus k. Let's simplify. 2 equals negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. So we're going to have a plus k. Over here we're going to have 11 equals 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 4 times a is 4a. So that's what we'll have here. So what we can do is we can substitute. What I'll do is I'll solve for a over here by subtracting k from both sides. So I'll have a equals 2 minus k. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to substitute a into here. So 11 equals 4 times a, which is 2 minus k, plus k. Let's distribute the 4. 8 minus 4k plus k. So we have 11 equals 8 minus 3k. Subtract 8 from both sides. We're going to have 3 equals negative 3k. And then divide both sides by negative 3. K is negative 1. So that's part of our answer. The other part is we need to know what a is. Well, if k is negative 1, we can substitute it here. So a equals 2 minus negative 1. So a equals 3. All right, number 7. Let's distribute the negative 3 in and the negative 3 here. So 12 minus 6x minus 3 equals 7x minus 21 minus 3x. Let's combine like terms. 12 minus 3 is 9. 7x minus 3x is 4x. Let's move the x's to the right and the numbers to the left. So I'm going to add 21 to both sides. I'm going to get 30. Add 6x to both sides. Look at this. So I divide both sides by 10, so x is 3. Solving the inequality. First things first, we need to isolate the absolute values. What we're going to do is we're going to add 4 to both sides. So I'm going to have absolute value of 3x is greater than 12. So I'm going to split that up. The first one I'm going to have is exactly how I see it from left to right. 3x is greater than 12. That means x is greater than 4. Over here, I write it exactly how I see it up until the inequality, and I do a flip and switch. So flip and switch. Divide both sides by 3. X is less than negative 4. Now, I can read this inequality sign. It's greater than, so it's going to be a union of these two. So let's draw a number line here. So there's 4 and negative 4. So x is greater than 4 looks like this. X is less than negative 4 looks like that. And I want to take the union of those two, which is going to be exactly what I see above the number line. So I'm just going to put those as my final answer down here. The graphs above the number line is pretty much your work. What you graph on the number line itself is your final answer. The reason why I put the graphs above the number line to start as the work is because if there's an intersection, it's easy to see the intersection as separate above the number line, as opposed to putting it all on the number line and having to erase it and then, combine. Number line. I just said number line, but it's supposed to be number 9. That's kind of weird. That means it's a long day and I should be going home right now. I don't know why I'm sort of babbling, but that's okay. Alright, number 9. Point slope. So let's just write that out. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Let's find out the slope because they're giving us the 2 points. 5 y2 minus y1, which is minus negative 5, over x2 minus x1. So 5 minus negative 5 is 10. 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So the slope is negative 5. So I'm going to plug that in here. And then now I'm going to get my 2 answers by substituting these 2 points in. You don't need to get 2 answers, but I'm going to throw both of them down just in case half of you did one and half of you did the other, so you at least know that you got them right. So if you're plugging in 6, negative 5, you're going to have y minus negative 5, which is y plus 5, equals negative 5 times x minus 6. There's your first answer. Your second answer is going to be y minus 5 equals negative 5 x minus 4. And the last problem. Write down an explanation explaining why the domain of a parabola is always real numbers. For this one, you want to explain the reasons why a function might have a restricted domain. There could be a bunch of different reasons, but the main 2 reasons would be if there's going to be a possibility of division by 0. The second one is square root of a negative. These here are the two reasons why you would have a restricted domain. When you're looking at the equation of a parabola, whether it's general form, or if it looks like f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, or if you're looking at it in vertex form, if you have, y minus k equals a times x minus h squared, you're under there's no possibility, I should say, of division by 0 in each of these. There's no quotient anywhere. And you're under no risk of taking a square root of a negative. I don't see any square root signs anywhere. There's no radicals. So if you're not under the risk of either of these two, then the domain has to be all reals. There would be no restriction. That's the reason why. And again, for these problems, you want to write out the explanation. You don't want to just write it out how I'm writing it out right now. You want to actually use full sentences, correct grammar, correct spelling, so on and so forth. And that is it.